And welcome, everybody. Welcome to MidDay Café. And I am one of your hosts, Michael Giannotti. We have a very exciting lineup today. So let's go ahead and let's get this show on the road. So, first of all, just welcome, everybody. And if you are joining us from someplace, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to give you a shout out. So, let us know where you're joining from. You don't have to share your name if you're not comfortable. That's fine. But we'd love to hear where you're from, city, state, country. It's always exciting to see where people are joining, as we do have people joining frequently from all over. And that's a beautiful thing because we love to share. For today's MidDay Cafe, a couple of last pieces, and then we'll jump into it. Over on the right-hand side of your browser, you should see, or in Teams, either way, you should see a Q&A panel. That's where you can post your shout outs. That's where you can ask questions. We encourage you, post your questions. We will hold the questions and we'll tee those up for your presenters today. But, please feel free to post those, make those available. Also, again, the shout outs. And then if there's anything that you wanted to call out, if there's things, maybe you're sending a link to something, we'll look at it, somebody will review it, and we may share that out as well. So please interact with us. This is meant to be an interactive session. Today, we're going to be, right after myself blabbing here, we are going to, and I don't know what happened. I went to full screen. Let's go to back over to here. We're going to have news and events with Mark Litwin shortly. Then we're going to have the feature event, which is going to be Microsoft Shared Channels. And I'm very excited about that. This is probably the most requested feature for Microsoft Teams that I have been hearing of late. I get asked all the time, I want to just invite somebody to a channel, not to the whole team. So we have two great speakers to talk to you about that today. We'll have open Q&A following their presentation, and then we will wrap up. So, without further ado, Mr. Mark Litwin, you want to share out the news and take it away?
Thank you so much, Mike. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. So I have a few things on the recent updates and otherwise from Microsoft. There we go. Sorry, waiting for the transition here. So if you haven't seen the roadmap lately, a whole bunch of stuff was updated and thrown onto it in the last week. 21 different items I counted. So bunch of things coming with, especially around meetings and what we're doing there around more of the webinar stuff we've been talking about for a few weeks now, being able to, lock meetings and control, PSTN entry, that sort of thing. So, 21 different things we counted. It was an amazing set of stuff. Next, we've talked a ton, I'm sure, those in the enterprise around, different apps and things we're doing inside of Teams to kind of extend it. Let me go ahead and share that one. We recently deployed this app internally to Microsoft called Company Communicator. And it's an amazing app that really solves a lot of problems inside of your enterprise, right? How do your frontline workers who aren't necessarily always in email consume the updates and important things and be part of that culture in your environment? And Company Communicator, solves that issue and so much more. It really helps with the issue of things just going to email and getting deleted. It's another medium here to really help with that, content digestion of employees. So great one to check out there. And if you haven't seen the app updates, there's a ton that we've published and they're always updating them. A couple new ones here, the adoption bot and appointment manager that works with bookings. Again, great ways that really extend Teams and make it a lot more useful for your folks. There's 20, 30 in here. It's a ton of different stuff there. Rounding it out, we have a birthday in the family here. If you haven't seen this has been, all around LinkedIn, but SharePoint's 20th birthday is coming up on the 27th. There's a little event. There'll be some NVPs and Microsoft speakers if you want to check it out. I don't think it's a Microsoft sanctioned thing like this SharePoint conference was or anything, but a lot of cool content there for those who have been inside of using SharePoint for a long time now, 20 some years. Amazing how far it's come. Then the final thing I wanted to check out or show, this is a YouTube I guess channel that I've been following lately. It's Dave's Garage, and I just thought it was kind of neat and really some of the history of Windows for the infrastructure folks, especially on the call, that have been involved in Task Manager and zip folders and activation. He was an old operating system group engineer and really got into a lot of the design decisions and how things were made. And I don't believe he's with Microsoft anymore, but was an interesting time when you didn't have as much resources on the computer and bandwidth on the internet, and some really cool Windows history there. If you check out his channel, it goes into great detail. So with that, that's all the updates for today. The MidDay Cafe the next few weeks is changing a bit. We're from the guest speakers. We're going to be having some open Q&A and a little bit looser format. So hope you do continue to check it out. We get a ton of people on these and really love the interaction.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Mark. And as he said, we're really looking forward. We're going to be doing some AMA format sessions for the next 4 weeks, and we certainly hope you will join us. We'll have tips and tricks and some other things that, as things are coming out, where we'll feature things like the communicator and all kinds of little goodies. So please tune in and join us. And again, remember, at the end of today's session, because we always get asked this, we will be posting the recording today to AKA, wrong way, there we go. I'm not like the weather person, I always get it wrong. AKA.ms/HLS blog, we'll post that there. And then you can always find us on a to-go format on iTunes. We are on Google Podcasts, we're on Spotify and more. So be sure to grab that and let your friends, family, your children, your dog, your colleagues know. But without further ado, on MidDay Cafe, share channels today. So today I am very excited. We have two fantastic presenters that are going to be coming to you. First up, we're going to have Pouneh Kaufman, who is going to be talking to us about shared channels, and her colleague, Eileen Zhou, is going to also be presenting, and this is going to rock. And so I'm going to get my mug off of here and turn it on over.
Mute off. Hi everyone. I'm Pouneh Kaufman, and I work in Microsoft Digital Employee Experience, which is the internal IT organization at Microsoft. Our team is responsible for ensuring that all 200,000 users at Microsoft have a delightful experience with Teams. And I'm here with my colleague, Eileen Zhou, who leads the shared channel implementation and release for us. And she'll be talking next. But let's kick off. I'm going to share my screen. And thank you so much, Michael, Pete, and Mark, for having us here today. We're really excited about this. Okay, let me kick off my screen and we'll get started. All right. Making sure my whole team can see this, right?
Yes, we see it. Yep, you're up.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. So Microsoft Teams, super exciting. I think you guys all heard the news at Teams Connect, but I'm so excited because we can share how Microsoft's helping people across the world stay connected and work together. As you know, Microsoft Teams is your digital workplace and anything you need to connect, collaborate, and accomplish goals together. This last year highlighted the importance of remote work, and it was challenging connecting and sharing securely beyond organizational boundaries. Well, we heard you. Microsoft's making it easier, and you're going to be able to share your channels internally and externally. So Hopefully you all heard the buzz about Teams Connect. It's coming to preview soon. You'll be able to use these shared channels, as I said, to connect outside your organization. With shared channels, you no longer have to grant people access to the full team or create a separate team or a group chat. Oversharing, team proliferation, and switching tenants is going to be addressed. As I mentioned, my team has been partnering closely with the Teams engineering org. Huge shout out to Arun, the double Aruns that we have, and especially Eileen, who's leading this release to our employees. She's going to be sharing her insights. But before we go into the details, I want to recap a couple of things around shared channels so that we can refresh your memory. Okay. Let's see, let's go on to the next screen. Okay, everyone sees the next screen? Wonderful. So as we're excited, as you can tell, I'm super excited about the opportunities for seamless collaboration that shared channels brings. Just to underscore the significance of what we're solving for with shared channels, let's discuss the experience in the past. As a user, you'd have to log out of your primary user account and log in with guest accounts to see messages and collaborate with other organizations. You had two types of Teams channels, right? And you should be familiar with this. We had the standard channel, which is open collaboration with your teams. Its membership list is from the team. We have private channels, which is focused collaboration with the team and managed with a subset of members from the team. And now you'll have shared channels, which provides flexible collaboration across teams and organizations, and it's managed with a set of individuals within or outside of your team. So just like you add a channel in Teams today, you simply select a new channel when you can easily invite individuals to teams and create shared workspaces where you can collaborate across organizational boundaries. You have the ability to chat, meet, access apps, co-author in real time, and most importantly, shared channels appears in your primary Teams view alongside all your internal teams and channels, making it easier to stay connected on top of all your work in one place. Collaborating across organization boundaries, regardless of how and where you work, doesn't have to be compromised with safety. That's why we have shared channels. And when we're thinking about scenarios of shared channels in the healthcare industry, there's multiple things that Eileen and I were discussing. When you have two hospitals maybe communicating together, you could have a pharmacy channel. So when one hospital runs out of medication, they could contact another hospital. You could have a procurement channel in these different teams where, if you run out of PPE materials, right? Someone can contact the other hospital and quickly have PPE materials sent over. Thinking about even like patient transfers or, the biggest topic now, vaccinations, right? We have so many different vaccination sites together. How cool would it be to have a vaccination channel where you can share overflow and shortages and quickly direct your patients into other areas so that people can get the vaccines that they need? There's so much excitement around Teams shared channels, and I'm so delighted to be here. And I'm going to turn it over now to Eileen Zhou so she can actually walk you through the rest of the shared channel presentation.
You're on, Eileen.
Thank you, Pouneh. Hi, everyone. I'm Eileen. I work with Pouneh together. And as Pouneh mentioned, fully focused on getting this Microsoft Teams Connect shared channel technology available for internal user and also ensure the experience. And I want to show a couple of examples about how shared channel is working. And first of all, let's have a comparison. Pouneh mentioned, yes, in the past, the standard channel, private channel really work in certain user scenario for persona. Same time, there's user voice say, hey, why should I always create a new team? Because actually I don't want those users to get access to the entire team, while that user should possibly get access to one channel or only one file. And also when we collaborate, we many times don't want external users to see each other's identity on team level if we add them to team. So lots of the workaround get being implemented in the past from users like a workaround. Either we pull them into a group chat, or we create a new team, or create different things, and eventually it is hard to manage. And it is not only the external user feedback internally, Microsoft employee also give very similar feedback. And when we think about how the shared channel can help, it is like when I have a team and a channel structure implemented on Microsoft Teams. The team not necessarily represent the direct report team. It has been a virtual team already. But actually, in our real world case, when we implement the agile approach, many times our virtual team extend. Many times we feel like a virtual team will get more cross-functional members join. And we also think about how to engage stakeholders and or the extended team member depends on how large the work stream is. And shared channel is going to help us facilitate this seamless collaboration as we can share a channel with people outside of the team we set up on Microsoft Teams. And that means we can invite anyone within the company or outside of company to a channel. On the same time, who are invited can see exactly the same channel appear on their team side. So by doing that, actually all the information, the resource, as we usually can handle on Microsoft Teams channel can be implemented on this team channel level work, teamwork hub and workplace to facilitate our collaboration. And I take some screenshot on the window, not necessarily mean that is only the scenario which we can leverage by using the shared channel. There's multiple scenarios like Pouneh mentioned, when at this moment, maybe we have one department work on a team and another department have a different team. And at this moment, when we want to connect the two, we may create another team to embrace all the members within the two departments. This actually increased number of team. When we switch across team, we may say, hey, which team I'm currently working on? Or when I share the documentation or file or respond, I usually need to think about maybe I update it here, do not update there, and update both of them. So lots of the consideration when the team are separate, but actually where the people are collaborated together on a daily basis. With shared channel, the two departments can share, one department can share a channel with another department. And we can have the similar conversation on that based on the same topic. When the department who share the channel talk about something, the other side can see exactly how the conversation is going on and it's chiming at the same time. And let's check, like Pouneh, if you can help go to the next slide. Thank you. Yeah, let's check like how the channel is shared. As many times we heard like, hey, what do you mean share a channel? So we take persona here as a quick example. So there's a team owner on a company called Northwind. Daniela is the team owner and she is also the project owner. She's going to create a new work stream for a new project for marketing program. And she realized not only the member in her team will participate, also there's other marketing specialists will join this work stream. So she considered this need shared channel to facilitate the whole collaboration. She go to team, and under the team where she manage, she create a shared channel. The shared channel name on this example is NT Live Launch. On the left side, you can see she created a shared channel and then add a member. And on her side, she see the NT Live Launch as a channel created under the team, NT Marketing. On this channel, she invites another member outside of her team, but also within the same company, named Cassandra. Cassandra is a marketing specialist. She got an invite on Teams said Daniela added her into a share channel. When she clicked on that notification, it lands the NT Live Launch share channel on her view. She can see that channel. She also can see the channel is sit under a team called NT Marketing. But that's all what she can say, as she can see as she is a member to this share channel. So both two sides can collaborate on this share channel moving forward. And all the conversation, files, content collaboration are available. Application will be available when it is released to external user. As Pouneh mentioned, within Microsoft, also to ensure user experience, we want to land it face-to-face to let user tell us how satisfied they are by using this functionality. So we're currently on the journey also to really learn how to use it in the proper way and gather users' feedback to help us further improve the experience, and eventually all the customer can be benefit from it. And let's just all review the benefit from the share channel again as the last page before we start a Q&A. By doing share channel, as Pouneh mentioned many times, and we see it, share channel, although it can be shared across different team, across different organization, from the structure perspective, it still sits under the team. The design from there is to get a user familiar with it. Instead of when a new functionality come up, we need to completely reinvent our knowledge on how to use a product. So by getting the similar view, team, and the channel structure, share channel can serve all the flexibility when we have the cross-team collaboration requirement. And also on the workspace, what currently the channel can facilitate us for the collaboration, work or perfectly on share channel, including the channel conversation. We can meet as a team on the channel. We can make a call when we are chatting on the share channel, and we also can share the content and do collaboration. Those are most important collaboration activities. We can start with the share channel, and application will be the next phase moving forward before the public release to satisfy user even further. You may ask a question about the security. And as we show in the previous slide about how people can see share channel on their teams, people who are part of the share channel can get access to the channel content. Who are not on the channel, maybe they're on team, actually they cannot see the share channel. So to ensure who granted permission can see the share channel in a safe way. Also, the team, from the team owner perspective, they can manage all the channel and all the policy currently customers, user apply on the team level, on the M365 group level, still apply to the share channel to ensure all the consistent management can apply to the standard private and share channel to ensure the experience is familiar and also the experience is secure. Yeah, I want to just loop Pouneh into this conversation and not only me present all the things. Hey, Pouneh, you mentioned like some scenarios on the healthcare. Do you mind just gather a little bit more, like once we go through those slides and check maybe one or two persona and the scenarios?
Absolutely. So when we think about those scenarios again, I mean, you have opportunities. You now see what share channels is about. So now think about it in the healthcare industry or in any industry, right? You have the ability to communicate across tenants. It's really up to you to decide what's important that you want to communicate across these tenants and how you can bring that information to make it valuable for you. I mean, we're using shared channels to be able to communicate with different departments without worrying about team proliferation. I don't know if you guys had this experience, but when we rolled out Teams 2 years ago and migrated from Skype for Business to Teams, you know, over the past year, we have over 252,000 teams that's a lot of teams, right? And a lot of that was because in the beginning, when we started, we didn't have the concept of private channels. We didn't have the concept of, shared channels. So people would create new teams. Now that we're releasing shared channels, it's really important for us to re-architect and rethink about our content and how do we make it most productive for all of us to work and collaborate in one space without having massive proliferation. Today at Microsoft, we have policies. We have governance policies that manage the number of owners in each team. And we also check every team to make sure that people, are still using that content. Every 180 days, people are responsible for attesting to their team memberships, to making sure that they're still compliant so that we don't even have massive team proliferation. But for us internally, I think we're really going to have to look at this next phase of Teams shared channels and figure a solution on how to architect and provide those best practices to ensure that we have content across these teams, but without having multiple teams. That's really our goal for that. Back to you, Eileen. Do you have any thoughts?
Completely agree with that. Yeah, Pouneh, completely agree with that. This actually is a good opportunity for us to sit down and review how the team and the channel structure has been implemented. If any team only has one single channel under that, due to the fact in the past we don't want to share the team level member, this is a great time for us to think about turn them into the shared channel. Although we cannot really turn one existing channel to a shared channel, we can create a shared channel moving forward to facilitate all the collaboration moving forward. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have some new tools, Eileen, that will let us move our content, just like we do with SharePoint, behind the scenes, be able to move the content quickly and be able to keep those shared channels without having to recreate, and then eventually archive anything that no longer is needed.
Yes, also the top one user voice currently.
Yes. I mean, this is huge, you guys. I was so excited to hear the announcement at Ignite, and I'm just delighted to be able to have the opportunity to work with Eileen, and we're leading this for our internal users at Microsoft. So stay tuned. There'll be a lot of questions. There'll be a lot of learnings, and we will be sharing our best practices with all of you.
So we have got a ton of questions. They just keep coming in. In fact, a couple just popped right now. So Mr. Pete Anello, did you want to tee up some of those questions for our two guests?
Sure. So I think there are a lot of questions, so I'll just go in sequence in which they arrived. What apps are available for pinning inside a shared channel?
The goal is to let all application experience as is on the shared channel to support the user collaboration. At this moment, internally, we are looking to Planner to be the first application land on that. More to come for external users experience. Yeah, please keep tuned.
Sure. Will the shared channel be only productive when every tenant has this functionality? I ask because the guest user will see my team and only the channel within his team's tenant, right?
Yeah, so actually to let external user get onto the shared channel, it requires a couple of steps of configuration in the backend. First of all, two companies need to agree they want to collaborate on the shared channel. Then the AAD administrator need to configure the federation to really acknowledge the two tenants want to talk with each other by nature using the native identity. When shared channel invite external user to the channel, they actually don't have the guest concept. So there will be like facilitating the user can log in the shared channel, keeping their own tenant login to see all the shared channel together with the team they already have on their own tenant. So by doing that, the native federation need to be configured. And also the team admin need to be involved to configure all the team level policy. So there's more detail to come and share with user how to make it more secure.
Great. And so it kind of leads into the next question. Does a tenant need to have guest and external access enabled in order to take advantage of this? Or would this be an independent setting?
That's a great question. And I feel like there are lots of the question also internally, like how we can gather,
Yeah.
get it to work as a guest and the shared channel, I mean, the external customer access on shared channel can exist in parallel. And so those serve different scenario. In some scenario, we do want external user to access the entire team. In that case, guest is still the preferred approach, as they can be added to the team, get access to every channel. In the scenario where we only invite a guest to a single channel as a shared channel concept, those external users don't use their guest account to log in Teams. So the two identity actually can live together. Yeah, as I just mentioned, they require the a federation to be configuring the backend support external access directly on shared channel.
And the next question is sort of along the same lines, and is will there be granular functionality to be able to enable this within a specific channel or within a specific team and not necessarily just have it on?
Yeah, I try to answer that as that depends on what is the specific functionality referred to that. So the shared channel concept is more like we let the user access the single channel and all the functionality which team can provide on conversation, meet, file, collaboration, application can land on the channel level, which make a channel a workspace for cross-team collaboration.
The next question is more about the UI of the experience of the person who's invited to a shared channel. Within their Teams client, will there be, maybe like a custom, a specific icon or something that shows that this channel is a shared channel?
Yeah, that's a very great point. Actually, internally, we're discussing about this a lot regarding how to make the UI more intuitive, let the user be aware this is a new channel type. At this moment, you can see on the private channel, there's icon which show you as a lock, indicate the user it is a different channel. Shared channel is doing the same. It gives a unique icon to indicate user this is a different channel. And on the UI, there will be signal to let user know this is a shared channel, which means it can be shared with people outside of the team. And also there will be UI for user to easily check who are on the channel.
Yeah. And one note to that, Eileen, is, as you said, UI is very important for us. We need to make sure that our users understand the risk of oversharing. That happens, especially thinking about if you have, HR or legal or different private channels that it has confidential IP. You want to be very careful about how you share. And so that UI experience is important. You need to make sure you have that icon and you're aware of that. That's something that we're going to be iterating and training our users on and making sure people are aware so that we don't encounter that across Microsoft. While everybody makes mistakes, we still need to help our users, educate them so they understand how to use it.
When you create a shared channel, will there also be a shared calendar?
That's a great question. Shared channel actually has its own identity to differentiate it from the team and the other shared channel. I may need to give a follow-up on that in the future, as at this moment internal testing, not really
Yeah, fair enough.
to that
Yeah.
yet. Yeah.
And this question is along the same lines. If shared channels, are we expecting shared channels to have the same limitations as a private channel? No planner, no stream channel, etc.
Yeah, the goal is to support order.
Are there any plans to have confidential access policies specific to shared channels? In the same way, policies can be created for specific SharePoint sites after this June of this year, thinking about DLP specifically.
Mute all.
Hello?
Eileen, did you want to answer that question? I think she's frozen.
Oh.
I think she's frozen, but we are looking at the DLP policies. There's been no news around this, but obviously this is going to be important for us. We need to have those corporate policies in place. It is something that will be coming, but we don't have dates around that.
Okay, this one's says, what are the requirements as it relates to Teams, AD, group, SharePoint, external access? I think you guys mostly answered that already, but wanted to throw that out there anyways, in case you think something was missing or you want to reiterate.
It sounded to me, I mean, this is Mike, really that we're talking about the federation aspect, right? So being able to federate with those customers that you want to pull in like that.
So there's some questions around when we first spoke about external access versus guest access. So is it some clarification? Are shared channels going to leverage, AKA the federation policy, external access policy? And if so, are we looking to beef up some of the policy restrictions that are available there?
Yes, there will be detailed implementation for customer in the future. The external federation is not the federation policy for share channel.
Okay.
External, yeah, it is different federation.
Great clarification, thanks. And last question is, will the documents, files, etc., inherit the same permission settings from the other channels within the team?
Yes. As share channel sit under the team, all the policies still come from the parent team.
That was, let me double check, but I think that was all of them.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
It's a whirlwind tour.
Yeah, a lot of great questions.
Yeah.
Amazing questions.
A lot of them are really geared towards what kind of admin controls, functionalities are going to be available, and as well as what is going to be the end user experience, right? Pretty consistent theme, I think.
So before we go to wrap up, then I guess Eileen, Pouneh, any last minute comments, shout outs, call outs? What should people be doing to get ready? Where should they go read? What needs to happen here?
Well, keep an eye. First of all, keep an eye out for lots of great postings that are coming up as far as the release across Microsoft, in the roadmap. We'll also be sharing a lot of content. Eileen has a slide that we can share information on, but huge shout out, I want to say, one, to Eileen, who's working with our team's engineering partners. Huge accomplishment. Shout out to Arun Das, Arun Mehta, David Johnson, everyone that we're working, Lee Peterson, that we're all working so closely with to make sure that this happens. It couldn't be done without everyone's partnership. So that's what I just want you guys to understand. Rolling out releases, it's not as always as easy as we think. So, we're going to learn, we're going to share our practices, and we hope that you guys love the share channels like we do. Eileen, any thoughts? Last minute tips? Oh, you're on mute, Eileen.
And we did have one last question while she's coming. They just came up from Aldina asking, will I see the chat notifications for shared channels as I see my other notifications?
Yes, exactly. Exactly the same experience. The whole purpose is for user to get all what they're familiar with already. Share channel is just an add-on to make it even further easier. Yeah, I want to echo to what Pouneh just mentioned, and user voice is quite important. If that is not a user share with us, this demand, maybe share channel will not happen. But that is all become the true when user give feedback and also share like a persona. Why would we have it? Internal user did a lot for the product group to further understand why it is important to light up the new functionality. So we hope in the future when external user can use it, it's really facilitate the teamwork. If you have other scenarios and the feedback want to get, and we are also happy to learn. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I think that wraps it up for today. I want to thank everybody for joining again. You can see our URL here, aka.ms/HLS blog. As I mentioned, I'll be posting the recording up there shortly, as well as the audio. So that'll start getting pushed out to our podcasting partner channels, and you'll be able to grab that. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Great questions. This is a great session. I want to especially thank our guests. That this is an exciting area I know that a lot of people have been waiting for. And last thing is, starting next week again for 4 weeks, be looking for us to have AMA sessions. So bring any questions you got. I heard Pete is really big into answering questions about punk rock and obscure bands that no one has heard of. And you can bring those questions here. So with that, I want to thank everybody. Have a great day for MidDay Cafe. Take care, and as always, ciao.